The Sunday afternoon started normally enough. I arrived at Dad's house at 2 o'clock, thinking we were having our usual monthly lunch. Instead, I found his girlfriend Melissa waiting in the living room with a leather portfolio, Uncle Greg and Uncle Tom flanking her like bodyguards in their expensive suits. "Sit down," Dad said. "No hello, no small talk." I sat on the couch across from them. My phone was already on the coffee table where I'd set it down, face up, still unlocked from checking directions. The screen stayed lit. Melissa slid papers across the table. "It's a simple business loan, $50,000. I'm opening a wellness center downtown." I picked up the contract, co-signer agreement, personal guarantee of debt, my house as collateral. "This isn't a business loan," I said quietly. "This is me guaranteeing your entire lease and startup costs. If anything goes wrong, I lose my house." "Nothing will go wrong," Melissa said, smiling that practice smile she'd been using since she started sleeping with my married father 2 years ago. "I have a solid business plan." "Then get a bank loan." "Banks want established credit history," Uncle Greg interrupted. He was a partner at a corporate law firm downtown. "Family helps family." "She's not my family." Dad's face reddened. "She will be. We're getting married after the divorce finalizes." My mother had been served papers 3 months ago. 32 years of marriage ended because Dad met someone at his gym. "I'm not signing this," I said, setting the papers down. "Look at the numbers again," Uncle Tom said. He specialized in real estate law, worked for one of the biggest firms in the state. "The wellness industry is booming. Melissa's projected first-year revenue is conservative. You'd be helping launch something genuinely profitable. Then you co-sign it." "We're already investing capital," Tom said smoothly. "20,000 each. We need someone to guarantee the physical location lease. Your credit score is excellent, and you have equity in your home." "How do you know my credit score?" Uncle Greg smiled. "We ran a soft pull. Standard due diligence. You ran my credit without permission." "Family doesn't need permission," Dad said. "Now sign the damn papers." "Melissa's been waiting weeks to move forward on this." I stood up. "No." That's when Dad's hand shot out and grabbed my wrist. "Sit down. Let go of me." His grip tightened. "You ungrateful piece of shit. Do you know what I've done for you? The college tuition I paid. The car I bought you when you were 17. I paid you back for the car, with interest. And I took out student loans for my last 2 years because you stopped paying when you started the affair." Melissa's expression flickered. She hadn't known that detail. "You're going to sign this contract," Dad said, "or you can forget about being part of this family." "I already forgot that when you cheated on Mom." His fist came fast. I barely saw it. The impact snapped my head sideways, metallic taste flooding my mouth. I stumbled backward, hit the arm of the couch, went down. Blood dripped from my split lip onto the contract papers scattered on the floor. "You selfish bastard," Dad roared, standing over me. "After everything I've given you." I touched my jaw. It was already swelling. Through blurred vision, I saw Uncle Greg and Uncle Tom still sitting calmly in their chairs. Uncle Tom was actually smiling. Maybe that knocked some sense into him. "Get up and sign," Uncle Greg said. "Unless you want another one." I stayed on the floor, tasting copper. My phone was still on the coffee table, screen now dark, but I could see the red recording light on the edge. It had been unlocked when Dad grabbed me. The sudden movement must have triggered something. "I'm not signing anything," I said quietly. Dad reached down, grabbed my collar, hauled me up. "Yes, you are. Frank, maybe we should." Melissa started. "Shut up," Dad snapped at her. "This is between me and my failure of a son." He shoved me back toward the couch. I landed hard, stars dancing in my vision. "The pen is right there," Uncle Greg said, pointing. "Sign all 4 pages where they're flagged." "Look at him," Uncle Tom laughed, bleeding all over himself. "You're pathetic. Your father asks for one thing, and you can't even do that." I looked at them, 2 licensed attorneys watching their brother assault someone, encouraging it, over a fraudulent contract that would put my home at risk for a woman none of us had known 2 years ago. "No," I said again. Dad's face went purple. He grabbed the contract from the floor, thrust it at me. Blood from my lips smeared across the signature line. "Sign it now, or what? You'll hit me again in front of witnesses." "We didn't see anything," Uncle Tom said casually. "You fell, didn't you, Greg?" "Tripped over the coffee table," Uncle Greg agreed. "Clumsy." They'd done this before, not to me, but the coordination was too smooth. How many other people had they cornered like this? How many other family investments had they coerced? "I'm leaving," I said, Standing carefully, Dad blocked my path. You're not going anywhere until this is signed. Move. He shoved me. I caught myself against the wall. Melissa needs this location, Dad said. The lease offer expires Tuesday. If we don't have the full guarantee package, we lose the space. Everything we've planned gone, because of you. That's not my problem. His fist came again. This time I saw it but couldn't dodge in the confined space. It caught my cheekbone, snapped my head back into the wall. Something crunched. Pain exploded through my face. I slid down the wall, ears ringing. Sign the fucking contract. Dad was screaming now, spit flying. Frank, stop, Melissa said, but she didn't move to help me. He needs to learn, Uncle Greg said. Some people only understand force. Through the haze of pain, I saw my phone, still on the table, still with that small red light. Last chance, Dad said, standing over me with the papers. Sign, or I'll make sure you regret it. You'll make me regret it, I said, tasting blood. You just assaulted me in front of 2 lawyers, who are going to testify you fell, Uncle Tom said. Twice, because you were drunk. I haven't had anything to drink. Your word against 3 of us, Uncle Greg said. One of whom is your father, who would never hurt you. 2 of whom are respected attorneys with spotless records. I looked at Melissa. She was staring at the blood on the carpet. Please, Dad said, and his voice changed, softened. Please, son, just sign it. This is important to me, to our future. Don't you want me to be happy? The manipulation was almost worse than the punches. No, I whispered. He kicked me. His dress shoe caught my ribs, drove the air from my lungs. Ungrateful, he said with each kick. Selfish, worthless. Uncle Greg checked his watch. Frank, we have that dinner reservation at 6. Let him lie there and think about it, Uncle Tom said. We'll come back in an hour. If the papers are signed, we forget this happened. If not, he shrugged. They stepped over me, all 4 of them. Dad didn't look back. I heard the front door close. A car started, drove away. I lay on the carpet for 5 minutes, breathing carefully around what might be cracked ribs. Then I crawled to the coffee table and picked up my phone. The voice memo app was still recording. 43 minutes and 16 seconds. I stopped the recording, saved it, sent it to my email, my cloud storage, my laptop. Then I called 911. The paramedics arrived first. They photographed my injuries while asking questions I answered carefully. Split lip, fractured cheekbone, bruised ribs, contusions on my arms from where I'd tried to protect myself. The police came next. I gave them the recording, watched the officer's face change as he listened to Dad screaming, to the sound of fists hitting flesh, to Uncle Greg and Uncle Tom laughing and calling me pathetic. These are the uncles, the officer asked, looking at the names I'd provided. Greg Morrison and Tom Morrison, both attorneys. Greg's at Morrison and Fletcher downtown. Tom's at West Side Property Legal Group. The officer made notes, and they witnessed this assault, encouraged it. You can hear them on the recording. He listened again, face hardening at the part where they discussed lying about what happened. We'll need you to come to the station and make a formal statement, he said. Are you willing to press charges? Yes. At the hospital they documented everything. Photographs from every angle, written descriptions of each injury. The ER doctor who examined me was thorough and grim. Whoever did this meant to hurt you, she said. This wasn't a shove that got out of hand. These are deliberate targeted strikes. I was released at 8 p.m., with pain medication and instructions to follow up if I had any vision changes or breathing difficulty. My lawyer was waiting in the hospital lobby. Sarah had been my attorney for years, handling my house purchase and will. I'd called her from the ambulance. She looked at my face and closed her eyes briefly. I listened to the recording, she said. All of it, and we're filing criminal charges, civil suit, and I'm personally submitting complaints to 4 separate bar associations. Greg Morrison is licensed in this state and Colorado, where he handles interstate corporate law. Tom Morrison is licensed here, in Colorado, and in Texas, where he does property acquisitions. 4 bar associations, I repeated. They're going to wish your father had just accepted your no, Sarah said. What they did isn't just assault and conspiracy, it's ethics violations that could end their careers. Attorneys witnessing a violent felony, encouraging it, planning to lie about it, running unauthorized credit checks, attempting to coerce signing a fraudulent contract that benefits them financially. Every part of this is career suicide. She opened her briefcase and pulled out forms. I need you to write down everything you remember. Every word they said, every threat. I'm filing the bar complaints tomorrow morning. I started writing at 9 p.m., finished at midnight. Every detail, every quote, every moment of the 43-minute recording. Sarah reviewed it, then looked at me. Your father and his brothers are going to face criminal charges. The bar associations will launch formal investigations. You understand this will destroy your relationship with them permanently. They destroyed it when they decided violence was an acceptable negotiation tactic. Good, Sarah said. Because we're about to make sure they never do this to anyone else. The police called Tuesday morning. Warrants had been issued for all three men. Dad, Uncle Greg, and Uncle Tom were being picked up at their respective workplaces. Sarah called Tuesday afternoon. The state bar received the complaint. They've opened an investigation. So has Colorado. Texas will probably follow within the week. How long does it take? For formal proceedings, 6 months to a year. But the preliminary investigation starts immediately. They'll interview witnesses, review the recording, examine the contract. If they find what we both know they'll find, Greg and Tom will be suspended within 60 days pending full hearings. Wednesday, my phone rang. Unknown number. This is Frank Morrison, Dad's voice said. Formal, tight. I'm calling to. We need to discuss the situation. No, we don't. I have an attorney. He says we can make this go away if you drop the charges and the bar complaints. I'm not dropping anything. Please. His voice cracked. They're going to disbar Greg and Tom. They'll lose everything. Their practices, their licenses, their reputations. They should have thought of that before they encouraged you to beat me. I lost my temper. I didn't mean. You kicked me while I was on the ground. Your brothers told you to. The recording has all of it, Dad. Every word, every threat, every plan. To lie to the police. Silence. Melissa left, he said finally. Moved out yesterday. Said she can't be associated with this. Smart woman. My lawyer says even if the criminal charges don't stick, the bar investigations will continue. He says Greg and Tom will definitely face sanctions, probably disbarment. He says I might go to jail. You assaulted me and tried to coerce me into a fraudulent contract. You should go to jail. I'm your father. You stopped being my father when you chose Melissa's fake business over my actual safety. He hung up. Sarah called Friday with updates. The Morrison and Fletcher firm had placed Uncle Greg on immediate leave. West Side Property Legal Group had done the same with Uncle Tom. Both firms were cooperating fully with bar investigations to distance themselves from the scandal. The recording went viral internally, Sarah said. Someone leaked it to legal ethics forums. Every lawyer in the state is talking about the Morrison brothers who tried to coerce a family member into a fraudulent loan guarantee while committing assault. Good. The district attorney's office called. They want to offer you a victim advocate. This is going to trial. I looked at my face in the mirror. The swelling had gone down, but the bruises were spectacular. Purple and yellow, spreading from my cheekbone to my jaw. Evidence. Let's make sure everyone sees exactly what family help looks like, I said. The preliminary bar hearings were scheduled for 8 weeks out. The criminal trial would take longer, but the investigations had already started, and from what Sarah told me, they were finding everything. The unauthorized credit check, the contract designed to put my assets at risk while protecting theirs, the coordinated intimidation, the planned perjury, every element documented in that 43-minute recording. I played it sometimes, late at night, listened to my own voice staying calm while Dad screamed, heard Uncle Greg and Uncle Tom laughing while I bled, heard them planning to destroy me if I didn't comply. They'd thought their law licenses gave them power, made them untouchable. Instead, those licenses became the evidence of just how far they'd fallen. The state bar's preliminary report arrived 6 weeks after I filed. Sarah called me immediately. They found probable cause for multiple ethics violations, she said. Both Greg and Tom are being formally charged. Dishonesty, fraud, conduct prejudicial to the administration of justice, and participating in illegal conduct involving moral turpitude. What does that mean? It means even if they somehow avoid criminal conviction, they're losing their law licenses. The bar doesn't need the same burden of proof as criminal court. The recording alone is enough. I should have felt satisfied, vindicated. Instead, I just felt tired. When's the criminal trial? I asked. Judge set it for November. 3 months. Are you ready? I touched my jaw. It still ached when the weather changed. I've been ready since the second punch, I said. The recording played in my head on loop. Dad's voice, Uncle Greg's laugh, Uncle Tom's casual cruelty, but also my own voice, quiet and steady, saying no. Sometimes that's all you need. One word, one boundary, one recording, and the willingness to watch everything burn rather than sign your name to their violence.